All right, so today we're learning a new lesson. We are going to be finding the equation of a parabola given 3 points. Okay, so that's our first blank. We need a minimum of 3 points that lie on the graph of a quadratic. So guys, a parabola, we're also going to call them quadratics. So these words, we're going to use them interchangeably to formulate the equation. So we need 3 points to make a quadratic equation. And one approach is to do a system of equations. Oh, what am I doing? System of equations. That is an E. Solving a system of equation is one approach to writing a quadratic function when we're given 3 points from its graph. So we're going to use the system. Oh, I'm sorry. No. My bad. We're going to use the standard form of the equation. Standard form of an equation and the points that were given. And guys, the standard form is when it looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. We're going to use this format of a quadratic function and the points that they give us to formulate the system. And then to solve, we're going to use any type of method. We can use substitution or elimination. And we're not going to talk about matrices or anything like that just yet. Okay? All right, so let's try to get started. Here is our first example. They gave us 3 points, and they want us to formulate a quadratic function based on those 3 points that they gave us. So step number 1 is we're going to write 3 equations by plugging in the x values and the y values from each of these points. So guys, they're talking about this right here. This is the x value and the y value. X value and y value. Go ahead and label them. We're going to plug these points into the standard form equation. And if you forgot, the standard form equation looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to put little y equals in the front. Okay, so how we're going to do this is my standard form is a x squared plus bx plus c. But instead of x's, what am I going to put for the first point? Yes. So the x value is right here, -3. So that's why I'm going to plug in. Okay, so that means in those little boxes, I'm going to put -3. In those parentheses, I mean. And then the y value is -4. Then we're going to do it again with the next point. The next point, the y value is 6, so I'm going to put 6 equals. And then I'm going to plug in my x value into the standard form equation. So that will be 2 and 2. And then finally, the last one, the y value is 24 equals. For my x value, I'm going to plug in a 4. Okay, so that is the first step. We're going to plug the x and y values into the standard equation. That's what we just did. Okay, step 2 is simplify the equations. So guys, if I were to simplify this, what is -3 squared? This part right here, 9. So that means when I simplify this, this will be -4 equals 9a. B times -3 is just -3b plus c. So we're going to simplify these equations. The next one, I'll get 6 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. And then the last one, I'll get 24 equals 8a plus 4b plus c. Oh, I'm sorry, 16. Thank you so much, Noah. I made a common mistake where we just multiplied 4 times 2. It should be 16. 4 squared is 16. Don't make that mistake. We have it? Okay, so that's step one. We just simplify the equations. Now we're gonna solve the system. So we're taking it back to what we learned in unit 1, where we solve these big things. Okay, so I'm gonna review it with you. All right, so which one would you guys like to eliminate? The what? The first one? We're gonna use this first equation. I think the easiest thing to eliminate here is the C. Wouldn't y'all agree? There's no number in front of the C, it's just a coefficient of 1. So let's do that. I'm gonna worry about the top 2 equations first. I'm gonna multiply this top one by a -1. And let's see what happens when I do that. -4 times -1 is just 4. -1 times 9a is -9a. -1 times -3 is a positive 3a. -1 times c is a -c. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the letter B. Thank you guys for catching things. This was the letter B. Everyone have that first line? Okay. And then I'm just going to copy down the second line. We're not going to change anything. It's perfect. 6 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. Okay, you guys see how the c's will cancel? I have a -c and a positive c. So that worked out nicely. And I'm going to add these 2 equations together. So 6 plus 4 is 10. And -9a plus 4a, this will be -5a plus 5b. So this is one of my equations that I'm now going to use. Now, because in this first round I got rid of the c, I need to get rid of c again, okay, with the next set of equations. Which ones would y'all like to use? The second 2? Okay, that works. It doesn't really matter as long as you choose 2 different ones. Okay, so I can just multiply this top or this middle one by a -1 this time. So I'll have -6 equals -4a minus 2b minus c. That's what that middle one will become. And then the next one, I'm just going to write it down, is 24 equals 16a plus 4b plus c. So those are my 2 equations. And notice we have -c and positive c. So that cancels out. And now I'm just going to combine my 2 equations. -6 plus 24, yep, 18. -4a plus 16a, 12a. And -2b plus 4b, 2b. So these are my 2 equations. Okay, now let's solve. Let's continue solving. Okay, so I'm going to work with my 2 new equations here. So step 3, we're still solving. So we have, I'm just going to write this one over here. 18 equals 12a plus 2b. And guys, you can use either elimination or substitution. Which one would you like to use? Want to try substitution? Okay, let's try it since we've been doing elimination so far. You might get some. Okay, we can try. We can do that. Okay. So let's do substitution. I'm going to move this over here. And so I'll get 18 minus 12a equals 2b. And then I'll divide everything by 2. So now I have 9 minus 6a is b. Okay, so we're going to use this equation. Now, we're using the substitution method. That means I'm going to plug this pretty thing into this b right here, into the other equation. So what this will look like, we just manipulated this one. So we're going to plug this into this. Okay, so I have 10 equals negative 5a plus 5. And instead of the variable b, I'm going to put in what b is equal to. B is equal to all of this right here. So I'm going to write that in here. 9 minus 6a. And now we're just going to do some algebra to solve for a. Five times 9, this is 45. 5 times negative 6a is negative 30a. And then I have this over here. Okay, and then I'm going to have negative 5a and negative 30a. That's negative 35a. And then I have this plus 45 over here, and this 10 over here. And then I can move this 45 to this side, making it a minus 45. So I get negative 35 equals negative 35a. What is a equal to?
1.
Yep, a is equal to 1. So we get a is 1. What should I do now? Plug it into which, we have so many equations, which one?
Minus 5a.
You can. What else could you do? This one right here? Okay, let's use this one. Okay, so I'm going to erase this a down here, and I'm going to plug in a 1 there. Plug in a 1. Okay, so what's 9 minus 6?
3.
Okay, so b is 3. So I found a, I found b. Now we plug them both into which one? This one up here, the one in the front? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the middle one because this one looks easiest. There's no negatives. So I'm going to use this middle equation. So I'm going to erase the a, I'm going to erase the b, and I'll plug in what we found. We said that a was 1. We said a was 1, b was 3, okay? So this is 4 plus 6 plus c, and then this is equal to 6. Okay, so we get, I'm going to write it over here. 6 equals 10 plus c, subtract 10, subtract 10. What is c equal to? Negative 4. Okay, so guys, through solving the system, by solving the system, we were able to find a, b, and c. Okay? All right, now let's go on to step 4. We found all of our numbers, our letters. So remember, the general form for a quadratic function, remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. And we just found a, b, and c. What did we say a was?
1.
1. Perfect. What's b?
3.
3. So I'll put a 3 there. And what was our c value?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Perfect. So this is our equation. This is our quadratic equation. Yep. Our point. Okay, so guys, what we just did, let's summarize. Given 3 points, we can find the quadratic function, or not find, we can create, or we can formulate. We can formulate the quadratic function, and that's it. Okay, any questions on that part? I'm going to do another example, okay? So, next example. This time I'm given a graph, but do I have 3 points?
Yeah.
I do. Okay, so this first point I have 0, negative 3. I have 2, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And then I have 3, 0.
Equations.
Now we're going to write our equations. So remember, guys, this is x, this is y, x and y. So my y is -3. I'm looking at this one right here. A x squared plus bx plus c. So guys, instead of these x's, I'm going to plug in 0. Ooh, that makes stuff easy. Okay, I like that first one. Okay, the next one. The y value is -5. And we're gonna plug in the x value 2. And the last one, the y value is 0. And we're gonna plug in 3's this time. Okay, so now we're gonna simplify these equations. This will become -3 equals, that's 0, that's 0. Oh, we found what c is equal to. Now the next one, let's simplify it. -5 equals 2 squared is 4. 2b, or b times 2 is just 2b plus c. And then the next one, I have 0 equals 3 squared is 9 plus 3b plus c. And guys, what did we just say c was? -3. So I'm going to erase these c's, and I'm just going to put -3's there. That's what they said it was. Okay, now let's solve these. Now, do you guys realize that I can combine like terms? I can combine the numbers together. I can move this -3 to this side and make it what? Yes. Okay, so guys, I'm going to cross that out. When I move it to the other side, it'll be a +3. So -5 plus 3 is -2. Everything else will stay the same, 4a plus 2b. This second equation, I'm going to cross out the -3. It'll be a +3 on this side. So I'm going to have 3 equals 9a plus 3b. So we already have our 2 equations. What do we want to eliminate or substitute? Want to do elimination this time?
No, it's really too hard.
Okay, we can do substitution. Which equation do y'all want to do? The top one? Okay, let's do it. So I'll solve for B. I'll solve for B. I think y'all would like B better. Okay, so I'm going to solve it down here. I have -2, move the 4a to this side. So make it a -4a equals 2b. Now what do I divide everything by? A 2. Divide this by a 2. Now b's by itself. Divide everything else by a 2. You guys see why I didn't do the 4? Because I would have to divide by 4 and I would get fractions. That's why I chose b instead of a. Okay, so now I have -1 minus 2a is b. So I'm going to use this equation right here. What do I do next? Yes, I plug it in to what?
3.
Yes, this one right here. So we're saying that b is all of this stuff. So instead of writing this b right here, I'm going to plug in all of this stuff, -1 minus 2a. So I'm going to write it over here. 3 equals 9a plus 3b. But what did we say that we're writing instead of b? Yes, this equation down here. This right here. Okay, so I'm going to write in -1 minus 2a. And let's solve for a. 3 times -1 is -3. 3 times -2a is -6a. Everything else, just bring it down. All right, let's combine like terms. 9a minus 6a is 3a. Everything else, just come down. We combined these two things. Now I'm going to add 3. I get 6 equals 3a. So guys, what is a? 2. A is 2. We can find b right here. I'm gonna erase this A. And I'm gonna plug in a 2. So I have -1 minus 2 times 2 is 4. So guys, what is B equal to? B is -5. -1 minus 4 is -5. And we already know what C is, right? They told us in the very beginning that C was -3. Okay, so my equation, I'm gonna write it over here. Remember, it's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Our a value is 2. Our b value is -5. So let me erase that plus sign. B is -5. So I'm going to put -5x, and c value was -3, so -3. So this is my equation. All right. How are we feeling about this? It is a lot of work. Solving systems by hand is a lot of work. Guys, here's another one. This time they gave you a table, but do we have 3 points? Yep, we do. So I'm going to let you guys work on this, and then we'll come back together. Okay, so our points. This is your x value. This is your y value. Whenever you see f of x, just think of y. So remember, the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so I'm going to substitute the y value with the 12. And for all of the x values, I'm going to put in a -5. So that's my first equation. The second one, -8 is y. And the x value that we're plugging in are zeros. The third equation, the y value is 4. The x values are 3s. So I'm going to plug in 3s. So these are my 3 equations. Now I'm going to simplify them. So I'm going to simplify this. I get 12 equals -5 squared is 25. So this will be 25a. -5 times b is just -5b plus c. Now the second equation. 0 squared is just 0. This whole thing is 0. This is 0. I know what c is. C is -8. Okay, next one. 4 equals 3 squared is 9. So this becomes 9a plus, oh, sorry, this is a b. Make sure this is the letter b, guys. I don't know why I put a 3 there. Okay, b times 3 is 3b plus c. So that is your third equation. Okay, make sure, guys, this is the letter b here. Let me make it more clear. This is the letter b. Okay, so we have 3b plus c. Okay, so guys, since we already know that c is -8, I'm going to plug that into my equations. I'm going to erase both of these c values, and I'm going to put a -8 there. -8, -8. Okay. Now we're going to do some algebra. I'm going to simplify this further because look, guys, I can combine like terms. Let me highlight this for you. I have a -8 and a 12. Numbers go together. So what I'm going to do is add 8 to both sides. Add 8 to both sides. So 12 plus 8, this becomes 20. And I have 25a minus 5b. Next one, add 8 to both sides. This becomes 4 plus 8 is 12. Everything else can stay the same. Okay. And I think substitution would be easiest here. We could also do elimination. Which one do you guys want to do?
Substitution.
Substitution? Okay. All right, do you want to solve for A or B? Which one would be easiest? B, good choice. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this 9A to this side. So it'll be 12 minus 9A equals 3B. And we divide everything by 3. Now look, B's by itself. So what I have is 12 divided by 3 is 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So this is my B equation. I'm going to put that in here. So guys, instead of B, look, I'm going to erase B. And I'm going to put this inside, 4 minus 3A. I'm going to solve it over here. So I have 20 equals 25A minus 5 times 4 is 20. Negative 5 times negative 3A is positive 15A. I distributed this. Now we're going to combine like terms. 25 plus 15 is 40. I combine these two. Everything else comes down. And then I can add 20 to both sides. So cross that out, add it over here. So I get 40 equals 40A. What is A? 1. Divide both sides by 40, A is 1. Okay, now this is what I'm going to use to find B. So I'm going to erase this A down here. I'm going to plug in a 1 now. What's 4 minus 3? 1, so B is also just 1. And we already know what C is from the beginning. So I have A, B, and C now. So my standard equation, remember, standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So the A value was 1, so it's just x squared. My B value was 1, so it's just x. And my C value was negative 8, so minus 8. This is your quadratic function. Oh, if it's a function, you need f of x. Either or, these are both right. All right, so that's how you do the one with the table. Same process. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys work on the other problems on this page. All right, on this question, guys, we need to make sure that we pick some good points, okay? So for example, we want to make sure that the points that we pick actually go on the line. So let me see if this will pick up on the graph. Oh, it's over here, thank you. Okay, so right over here. Oh, okay. So I know that this one goes perfectly through a point. This is your vertex. That goes perfectly through like the corner. Don't pick that one. That one doesn't go perfectly through the corner of the box, okay? This point is a good point to pick. This point would be a good point to pick. I think this one would be a good point to pick. Some of these, it doesn't look like it's going perfectly through the corner, okay? When I say corner, I mean like a corner of a box where it's not going to be a decimal, okay? So just to be safe, I would pick these 3 down here to do that one, okay?
So we could pick points that are like the same.
Yes. All right.